Hey everybody, career engineer here. Don't get anxious, get prepared, and welcome to the replay. Got a great show lined up for you, but today I'm giving some different tips and tricks, and we want your comments, so definitely be engaged in the broadcast. It's going to be a great show, but I really want to make sure that I'm speaking to my career seekers. I'm speaking to my small business owners today. I'm speaking to the employers today, and all of that noise about folks don't want to work because they're making so much money being unemployed, right? And yeah, and I said noise, and I said that on purpose. So I want to have a conversation about that. I've been thinking about a lot, and a lot of folks have been bringing that up, but I discovered, just, talking to people who are in the workforce right now, what they're looking for, and dealing with our small business employers, like that's what I am too. The 6 ways that you can change the game. So if you're looking to get talent, if you're wondering why folks aren't showing up at your job fairs, if you're wondering why your interview folks are not showing, I want to give it to you as some employer tough love, but to my employees, pay attention. Pay attention to make sure too that when you're interviewing that you're also asking the right questions to make sure this particular employer is the right one for you. So get your pen, get your paper. To my YouTube people, what's up? Everybody, Facebook, Twitter, everything. But let's have this real conversation about this real deal, because Monday morning is coming and Memorial Day is right around the corner. So I'm going to do my little thing. Y'all know I like pushing this little button. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to get right into it. So don't go away. Hey, I'm back. I just love doing that. So here's the deal. Of course, make sure you guys find us everywhere, tcenow.com. Go there, get our newsletter. I did 200,000 job leads again, and also what it takes to not just be hired, but for retention. So make sure you check that out. So here's the deal. So I is looking at this very important topic, because there's a lot of layers to it. And I know folks are taking their different spins, and that's what people do. So I want to give my interpretation of the matter, right, of what's going on. So there are 6 things. There's probably 30, but I think these are the top 6 that if you are looking to get folk to work for your establishment, I know where I'm broadcasting from, restaurants and leisure and hospitality, folk are looking, feeling some kind of way because folks are not jumping at their opportunities. So let's talk about the opportunities, and let's see what the talent is looking for this year. And why is this such an important topic? Because if you didn't recognize it yet, and to my job seekers, don't get too comfortable here. Yes, it is a job seekers market, which means what? Pure economics, like supply and demand. Lots of opportunity, limited labor. And when I say limited labor, I'm just saying the folks is making choices to be more selective versus settling. People have choices now. They've learned some new skills. They've done some things differently. They're not just jumping at the first carrot. They want to see the bouquet of flowers. So employers, what's in your bouquet? So let's look at 6 things that folks are really looking for, because you need to come from this understanding it is a job seekers market, and folks going to have to up their ante to get the right talent. And this is really an interesting point for me, because right now, 1 year later, we were in a totally different situation last year, okay? And the same way employers want the candidate to give extra and show us why we should hire you and what is your value and what are you bringing to the table, we flipped. So employers, what is your value? What are you bringing to the table? That's what you have to do in order to get that person to be serious and be in your seat. So let's look at the first one. Okay, I've got some hair in my mouth. What does that go about? I shouldn't have said that on the air, but okay. It's not that. I was eating something before. That's why I never eat before I do this, but I was a little hungry this morning. So here we go. One of the first things that we're looking at that can help an employer to land some talent, because, just because you're hiring, because you're offering somebody $8 an hour, do you really think people are going to run for that opportunity? So you got to change some things. One of the first things people are thinking about when they decide to come work for somewhere. So employees, put on your thinking caps here. Upward mobility. Make sure you're asking questions, employees, job candidates, to get questions about where the pathways are. If I come work for you, what is your investment on people? What's your KSA policy? KSAs are knowledge, skills, and abilities. Yes, you got to bring them to come work. But if I stick around, see, it's not just recruiting, it's retention that's important. If I stay with you, what are you doing, employer, small business, to for upward mobility? What is a career pathway? If I do this job for 5 years, on year 6, am I still doing this job for 5 years. Of course, individual grit, moxie, and mojo matter. But if I bring all of that, what is your infrastructure plan for me moving up? How can I be the CEO some days? You guys have heard stories of they used to flip the burgers and now they're running the show. What is your career pathway? If you don't have it, you need to get some, because that's actually what people are looking for. KSAs means knowledge, skills, and abilities. During COVID, a lot of us learned to train people a different way. Onboarding, training, and training some more on new skill. I mean, come on, Skype, Zoom, all of this. There's ways of doing that now that are less expensive, but bring a bang of value. So you ain't training folk? There's no upward mobility. Why should they work for you? I'm going to end each bullet with that. Why should they work for you? Here's another one that folks are looking for: to get hired and to stay hired. Employers, please listen up. Please, meaningful work. Just imagine, I can't believe I'm having like this conversation like now. Like, okay, work was not meaningful before, but you should do it. Your work has no value, but you should do it and come early and stay late. Come on, stimulating work that matters. Yeah, I understand flipping the burgers, doing the fries, digging the ditches. But you know what? When I first got my first files, way back when, right? When I was way back when, the guys were digging the ditches. But you know what? Their work had value. I couldn't get files if they didn't dig the ditch. I'm just saying, back in the day. So if you can connect the vision and the value of what that person is doing and letting them feel that they have an important role in your organization, yes. If you don't flip the burgers, I cannot have my thing. But maybe you're feeding the community. We also feed the community. You know, we're providing substance. It's up to you, employer and bosses. Well, it's the meaningful work. I mean, again, why should they work for you? How do they play into the vision? You've got to answer that question as well. Now, here's a big one. Come on, we've been talking about this for 15 months. 1 year later, flexibility, work-life balance, work-life syncing. What is your corporate culture when it comes to that, employer? Like, what are you doing to work that out? I understand every business. I'm going to take that back. Nah, y'all can do something with that. I mean, I don't care how small you are. Work-life balance does matter. Work-life syncing matters. Your corporate culture toward this. I mean, if you only value that person for being in the chair, sweating and flipping, I keep using the restaurant thing, but y'all get what I'm saying. And you don't really care about their families. And I get it. Some companies, you are a family. Other companies, you are a team. But even the best coach wants to make sure his best players are straight. Okay, for real. So what signs, what infrastructure, what plans do you have to show flexibility? And you can be creative, with the word flexibility. For example, of course, remote working, work from home. For folks that can do that, every industry can't do that. We get that. But those who can, maybe there's a hybrid way of you bringing that together. Maybe there's ways of flexing schedules. We understand some industries are nights and weekends, but every night, every weekend, I'm sure there's a way, employer, that you can show how you give time on and, of course, some time off, right? And then those things are really on top of mind now. Why? Because during this pandemic, folks looked at their family life. They looked at what's important. They rethought some things. They rethought working all together. They looked at ways that they enhanced some skills and did some things they never thought they can do. They found their own different level, a shift level of grit, moxie, and mojo. And now they're finding out more about themselves, and they've got more to give. And now they're being selective of where they plant it. Don't get mad at folk because they recognize their value over the last 15 months, right? During COVID, folks were saluting the essential workers, the folks stocking, the folks sweeping up, the garbage, folks, the garbage guy, folks, oh, here come the garbage man. Yeah, thank God for the garbage man. Okay. And we were saluting and high-fiving and clapping. And a year later, there's certain folks calling these same folks lazy and don't want to work. But you're offering them the same but they're so essential. Your world would have shut down had they not showed up. So let's rethink that moving forward and find ways to be flexible. So speaking of money, right? Show me the money. You guys all know, famous line. Hollywood did that. Love it. Show me the money. What do you offer beyond money? Do you know folks are looking at comprehensive compensation? Yes, of course, a living wage. So come on, I should be excited because you're offering me minimum wage, and how dare I not want to work there? What is wrong with me for not doing 40 hours at 7 and change? Really? So living wage, good jobs, not just jobs. Folks want good jobs. And they know their value now that they can get good jobs because they found a way to find a way for 15 months. So what are you offering more than a check? I mean, so, hey, everybody's screaming $15 an hour is great. And I ain't mad at that either. But there's got to be more than that. And this is what I'm talking about, a couple things. And being creative. I know some of these things are complex and everyone can't do them, but you can do something. You can if you want to get and keep talent, right? Hey, Memorial Day is coming where I live. All those places need folks to work. All these essentials in the back of the kitchen, in the front of the kitchen, at the hotel desk, everybody's essentials. The environmental services folks, really? You don't think the custodians are essential? Guess what? Go ahead and not. Okay, anyway, I digress. Here are some ideas. I mean, your benefit plan. All kinds of ways to do benefits these days. Benefits where people can, the actual payrollee can cost share as well. Stuff's coming out of people's checks. Barbecue Fridays. I mean, Pizza Wednesdays. I mean, Taco Tuesdays. I mean, come on. There's ways to be creative here. Of course, flex schedules. I've seen folks offer gym memberships, or cost share that to help people, be happy. Healthy and happy, right? But also things, awards and recognition means so much. And community involvement means so much. So there's all kinds of ways where your team or your family, your work family can have that value and know beyond money that there's more than just this. I mean, if I do this, this is great. And maybe you have an environment that people actually love working there. I had a conversation with a gentleman on Zoom, and we're talking about, technology companies get this. I mean, they've done things, some of the big tech companies, right? And even some of the smaller tech ones, they cater, on certain days, there's food on Fridays, and they have a basketball, inside you blow off some steam, and maybe they do walk groups. I mean, there's just things that folks can do to kind of to synergize, to make this a productive and purposeful workplace. And it means a lot to so many. So there are these things that you can do, employer, if you want to hire the right talent and keep them. And to my talent that's listening, if you have questions or comments, please put them in and I'll answer them while I'm here with you right now. You think about these things, and as you're interviewing, or if you're showing up to interview or a job fair or whatever you're doing, make sure you're asking the questions to make sure these folks have these 6 things that we're saying that's very important in the world today, in the job world. Last, but definitely not least, and this is a pre-COVID thing. This has got nothing really to do with COVID, but terrible managers. I mean, just terrible managers. I've seen incredible talent. I'm talking even on the high end of things, cybersecurity people who are so in demand, IT folks in all kinds of settings, healthcare and everything else. Longevity with a company, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, leave, can't take it anymore because of bad management. Internal infrastructure changed. You put someone in a management job who has feeling some kind of way because they wasn't the VP. What's gonna ooze from them? Maliciousness, right? And I've seen people solid. I mean, they got 8 years to go to hit their 20. They're out of there in 90 days because of bad management. And remember, we've said it all the time. People don't leave companies. They don't. They leave bad managers. So you have to make sure. I mean, and what people are looking for was management. Sure, I'd love to I would hope I'm working somewhere that I like. I hope so. But, is your management style, bosses, I'm talking to you, does it build trust and work autonomy? I mean, when micromanagement doesn't, hey, Christine, thanks for, she's traveling, she's doing her thing. Go ahead. Micromanagement may work in some places, but it's losing in most places. All right. I mean, if you're going to hire employers, I hope you're doing the right interviewing to make sure you're getting the right talent. But let them work, building trust and integrity. Let them do their job. If you're still, I've been flipping the burgers and I know how to flip them, but you still gonna be over me with a little checkboard. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm all for QA. We're all for QA, but let me do my job. Trust me. Help to build trust. If your boss style is not doing that, that's a big retention. I'm out of here. I've seen it in the high places. and the low place. So let's just do a quick recap. And I want to make sure that my job seekers are understanding this, as well as those of you who are hiring. Again, I'm sure there's always manipulators in every space, right? For those of you screaming about how dare they not work, the whole extra federal unemployment is keeping people at home. I hope you scream as well for the affluent folks who are malicious around the system, and let's say don't pay their taxes because they made a couple of gazillion dollars and they're paying the tax of a 50,000 per year person. So just have the same equal hate there. But beyond that, let's move beyond that. The bottom line is it is a job seekers market, at least right now. A year from now, who knows? Things can flip again where it is an employer and hiring market. But if you want to get the best talent, make sure you're doing the following things. Have a good pathway, a growth, upward mobility, invest in your people. Folks bought masks and PPE and we've bought plexiglass, but what did you do to invest in your people? Knowledge, skills, ability, a great pathway. Meaningful work. Everyone wants to be, one of my favorite 3 words is they want to work in sustainable, maintainable, and meaningful jobs. We want our jobs to count. We want what we're doing to make a difference. Those are folks who want to stick around a while. So make sure you're helping them to understand their part in your vision. Flexibility, come on, work-life balance. If you didn't learn anything last year, you know how important that is. And also to make sure to see if the corporation you want to work for, if their corporate culture fits that. Some do, some don't, and it's okay. I mean, it happens, right? But you need to ask those right questions to find out. And employers, you need to, if that's an important part of your value, you need to make sure that shines all day long. And here are some ways that folks can do that. And of course, yes, money is important. Show me the money. But beyond money, what are you also offering? I mean, there's got to be some other things you're offering besides that, because that also helps with retention. There's benefits, there's fun days and family or work team appreciation, things of that nature that can work. And of course, get your managers on check. I know a lot of us, sometimes we're great in being the technician that we are, or we're great in that job we had, or we're an exceptional performer. Then you get promoted to management and no one trains you. Hello, upper mobility training, that now the water cooler conversations are definitely going to change, okay? Because now you're the boss. You're not the peer. And that's a shift in thinking and a shift in doing. And you got to learn how to work the most important value at a company, which is the people, right? And if you don't get that training, you're going to hurt the people. So that's important for those of you who are shifting people up or using the same style you've done in 1990, if you were working way back then, or hey, 2000, it is not going to work. So get your managers in check. Get your managers in check. So listen, remember, I'm with you live every Monday, 12 noon. Well, next week we may or may not be, because what's happening next week? Come on, guys. What's happening? I want to wish everybody, it's Happy Heroes Day is what I call it, right? Happy Heroes Day next week, because next Monday will be Memorial Day. And if you're like me, you should be getting your Memorial Day on, right? That's part of flexible work environments and things of that nature. So, but we will definitely have some content. We have lots of content there, and we will feature one that you can enjoy to improve your career, your life, and your business. So again, thank you for watching us live. Those of you who will catch me later, if you have a question or comment, feel free to put it in the box and I will reach out to you in your comments. When I say the box, let me put it in the comments and I'll be more than happy to reach out to you. Remember, make sure you find us everywhere. You can't miss us. TCEnow.com is the website. You can find us any day, anywhere, all day. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. We had over 200,000 jobs last Friday. I'm looking forward to the great news for this Friday. So y'all be safe, be healthy, get your vaccinations if you haven't. And don't get anxious, get prepared. Thank you so much for being a part of us. And it's all good. Look, Miss Christine says, I deserve a break. I do. I'm learning how to do that, Christine. I'm going to take one next week. I'm going to take me a break next week. So I thank you all so much. Be safe. And again, share this broadcast with others. And if you're not subscribing to any of our YouTube channels, do that. Do it. Get subscribed and y'all be blessed. And I'll see you in June. Oh my gosh, it'll be June. I'll see you in June. Y'all be blessed, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.